Hi there, I'm Dan. My topic is how to design boss in RPG games. And today, I'm going to discuss the first question on this topic, how to design damage determination areas of boss. Many RPG games will assign different damage determination areas to boss body when designing boss, which will undoubtedly increase the challenge that boss brings to players and the fun of the game. When a player attacks a different area of boss, the damage done to boss is different. Players need to find the vulnerable areas of boss and focus on the weaknesses of boss to defeat boss as soon as possible. This requires the player to be more operational and familiar with every part of the boss body. Monster Hunter is undoubtedly a game with an excellent boss design, and its boss design is very representative. Below, I will focus on the Monster Hunter world to illustrate how the boss damage determination area should be designed to make the game more interesting. The Monster Hunter world continues the style of its previous versions. Players still need to challenge a variety of boss continually. Different boss rarely have similar designs, so players will not lack freshness when faced with each new boss. When the player first hunted boss, the player could not immediately know the weakness of boss. However, the player can judge whether the attacking part is a weakness by the value displayed when the boss is injured. If the number is white, it means that this part is not a weakness. If the number is yellow, it means that this part is a weakness, and the player can cause more damage to the monster here. Another attractive design in the Monster Hunter world is that some parts of some boss have been enhanced. If the player attacks it with a melee weapon, the player's weapon will be bounced off. Not only will it not damage the monster, but also cause the player to enter the knockbacks. For players who use ranged weapons, attacking these enhanced parts can only waste their ammunition. Therefore, in addition to paying attention to attacking weaknesses, players should avoid attacking the reinforcements. This design is very consistent with the physical rules of the real world. It can bring players more challenge and fun. At the same time, it also makes the feeling of players more realistic. However, setting different damage determination areas of boss, in addition to making the difference in damage values, also has a significant impact on boss skills, behavior, and loots. The first is the skill. For example, the Rathian. The Rathian is a boss who can spurt fire from the throat, sometimes fly, and has a poisonous gland at the tail. It sometimes flies into the air and sways the tail to poison the character. But at the same time, its tail is also its weakness. The player can destroy the part. When the player cuts off the tail of the Rathian can no longer poison the character. If the player suffers from the debuff of poisoning, the tail of the Rathian can be cut off as soon as possible, so that the continued hunting can be carried out more smoothly. Another example is the Diabolos. The hard double horns of the Diabolos and the huge tail hammer can cause high damage to the character. So, the player can choose to destroy horns of the Diabolos as soon as possible and cut off the tail of the Diabolos to protect himself from being defeated. Second, behavior. For example, Behemoth. Behemoth's design is that if a character attacks its head, it will convert the attacked target to that character. So when the player is battling Behemoth, only the player who is the tank could attack the head of Behemoth. Other players should avoid attacking the head of Behemoth, which will ensure the maximum effectiveness of the team. Finally, about loots. Destroying different parts of the boss will give players unique bonuses. This setting increases the difficulty of the player's growth process. To complete the mission, players don't need to destroy any part of the boss. They need to defeat the boss. But if the player wants to make better equipment and improve their combat power, they need higher requirements. For example, the player can only get boss jade by destroying the head of boss or cutting the tail of boss. In order to make a piece of equipment, the player will try to destroy its head and tail before defeating boss. This is harder for the player, but it also makes the process of growing more interesting. In a nutshell, designing different damage determination areas for boss in RPG games can make boss battle more skillful, can bring more challenges to players, and can avoid the process of boss battle becoming a boring competition of data. Therefore, when designing boss, we can use reverse thinking to start with the above 4 elements. We can first determine the weakness of boss based on its background settings. For example, a flying boss, according to common sense, cannot fly if its wings be destroyed, so the wings can be considered as a key part. If we want to design this boss as a low difficulty boss, the wings can be set as a weakness. If we are going to improve the difficulty of this boss, the wings can be set as hard to destroy. In the same way, whether the destruction of parts can weaken the skills of boss can also be designed with this method. For behavior, we can also add some traps, such as if the player destroys the wings of boss, although the boss can't fly, it will become violent, weak but harder to fight. For loots, they need to be designed according to the player's growth line. The above is an analysis of the design of the boss damage determination area. I will discuss the design of other aspects of boss in the future. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.